How my terrifying stroke at my granddaughter's baptism led me to discover this Japanese farmer's secret that's clinically shown to naturally lower high blood pressure. It was the worst day of my life. It was the last thing I thought would ever happen to me. You see, I was known as the fitness guy. Heck, I played on the football team in college, and I still hit the gym twice a week and eat very healthy. I'm the guy that friends and family ask advice on health and diet from. I wasn't overweight. I didn't smoke. I was feeling great that day. Then, boom, out of nowhere, with no warning signs, during my granddaughter's baptism at church in front of 130 family and friends, I suffered a stroke that nearly killed me. I almost died and left my family stranded and alone without a husband and father at the age of 48. High blood pressure will do that to you. That's why they call it the silent killer. You never think it will strike you down, but it does. If you have high blood pressure, it means arteries struggle to properly expand and contract. When blood pressure is higher than 120/80, it's virtually guaranteed that your arteries are inflamed and hardening. This can cause damage to your blood vessels and heart vessels. Prolonged, untreated high blood pressure can even restrict blood flow to your brain and heart. After my stroke, I never wanted to go through another one. So finding the right nutrients to help my arteries become more flexible again, allowing blood to easily pass through, became my new mission in life. Once I got out of the hospital, I wanted to get back to some sense of normal. My wife and I went out to eat at our favorite Japanese restaurant, and this led me to luckily stumbling upon an old Japanese farmer's secret that helped me reduce my high blood pressure naturally, and it could for you too. Over the next few months, these rare nutrients assisted me in bringing my blood pressure to the safe zone. This natural blood pressure-lowering secret has been covered up and hidden by the big drug companies because it does not require any prescription medications. It was even published in the prestigious journal Archives of Internal Medicine, and over 24,853 people, just like you, have used it to bring their blood pressure into the safe zone naturally. You do not have to do any crazy exercise program or eat foods you don't like or anything unpleasant like that. This Japanese secret is the perfect addition to a healthy lifestyle. It's shown to work for people of any age and with any blood pressure level, and for those on no medication, and for those still struggling to manage their blood pressure even while taking several prescription drugs every day. This flies in the face of what you've been told before, so I'm sure you're skeptical, because so was Mary Ann Duplantis, who said, "In just 2 weeks, my blood pressure went from 192/102 down to 126/84 by following this natural secret. I've had high blood pressure for a few years now. I've noticed myself aging faster than usual for sure. It took a little while, but I was relieved to see that it is still possible to bring my blood pressure down with just little positive shifts in my diet." And Dan Topanga, who said, "I was very skeptical at first, but now my blood pressure is down so much that my doctor said I can get off both of the prescription drugs I've been taking. Now I'm feeling more energy than I have in over a decade, and I don't have to worry about the terrible side effects of high blood pressure medicines anymore. Thank you so much." And Carmine Suarez, who said, "My blood pressure dropped from 180/92 all the way down to 118/78. So now I'm completely off my prescription drugs. I feel so much more energy and I have no more fatigue, pain, or anxiety." In the next couple of minutes, I'm also going to reveal what doctors don't tell about blood pressure medications, a study on the major risks high blood pressure poses to your immune system, and what Harvard says about high blood pressure and dementia. Why the blood pressure supplements sold on Amazon, GNC, and in stores don't contain the critical secret ingredients that are clinically proven to help reduce high blood pressure. Why certain natural ingredients are shown to help healthier arteries while also proven to manage inflammation and mood. So if you've been told that you have high blood pressure too, even if your reading is just 123/85 or 130/90, it's very urgent you pay close attention to what I'm about to share. The information I'm going to reveal in the next few minutes can help you avert a health disaster. My name is Ed Corcoran. A couple of years ago when this happened, I was only 48 years old. My wife and I were proudly attending our granddaughter Rebecca's baptism at St. Mary's Church. I was so proud and happy that day. And what a beautiful day it was, sunny and 76 degrees with clear blue skies. I felt like I was on top of the world. Little did I know, just minutes later, I would be rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital in an ambulance after suffering a stroke. I remember praying, "Please, God, don't let me die now." And if that wasn't bad enough, it was right in front of 130 or so of our closest friends and family who had come to celebrate this special day. And then it got even worse. Because after my stroke, I was basically bedridden, feeling awful and out of work for over 9 months, which put a terrible financial drain on my family because it wiped out the money we'd been saving for retirement. And then the doctor said the loss of feeling in my left arm should come back within a few months. But the feeling in my left arm never came back. And now I have a hard time with coordination and doing many simple tasks that are easy and routine for most people. And the physical toll on me was not even the worst part, because every time I looked into the beautiful eyes of my wife, Karen, I saw her worry and concern, and it tore my heart apart. My wife, Karen, is a good woman. We've been married for 23 years. I don't like to disappoint her, but I did. She's too sweet to admit it, but I failed my wife by not taking care of my high blood pressure like she warned me to, and having a stroke and turning our lives upside down. In fact, my stroke from high blood pressure nearly bankrupted us. You see, the deductibles and copays from my hospital stay and 9-month home rehab cost us over $84,500 cash. It wiped out all of our retirement savings, which means Karen knows we probably won't ever be able to buy that little condo by the beach in New Smyrna Beach, Florida for our retirement that we've always dreamed about. I'm sharing my personal horror story with you for one reason. I want you to know about the Japanese secret that played an important role in ending my high blood pressure and would have kept me from ever having a stroke in the first place. You don't realize how tragic the silent killer can be until it unexpectedly strikes out of nowhere, like it did when I was at my granddaughter's baptism. So when I discovered this Japanese secret, I knew I needed to find the nearest mountaintop and yell out its potential known benefits, so you can maybe avoid having a stroke like I did, or a heart attack, vision loss, or dementia. So you can possibly increase longevity and avoid stranding your family. So you can likely reduce the risk of burdening your family with teaching you to walk or talk again. That was the most humbling experience in my life. So you can avoid being wiped out financially, even if you have good health insurance. So you can have the potential to even live a more energetic, healthier, happier, and longer life. Before I tell you about my remarkable natural Japanese farmer's discovery that ended my high blood pressure, let's look at the dangers of having high blood pressure. Here they are. Vision loss. High blood pressure can be extremely dangerous to your vision, often leading to serious problems and sometimes even permanent damage. The small blood vessels around the eyes can begin to bleed, causing blurry vision or, in the most extreme circumstances, complete blindness. Additionally, those suffering from high blood pressure can also expect damage to the optic nerve from blocked blood flow, as well as leaky blood vessels that can cause fluid to collect under the retina. I had an event while playing tennis when my cornea exploded and left me almost blind in my left eye. My high blood pressure became my priority that day. Mark P. Ashland, Oregon. Kidney failure. Healthy blood vessels are an absolute requirement for your kidneys to work properly, filtering and then removing waste and fluid from the blood. So when the kidneys aren't working properly, waste and fluid can build up, which can lead to medical interventions such as dialysis or kidney transplants. Prolonged high blood pressure, aka hypertension, can restrict circulation to the kidneys, causing them to potentially get clogged up. The kidneys are also where your stress hormones are released, cortisol and adrenaline. This can trigger an excess of stress hormones in your blood, causing potential damage to your arteries, heart, and brain. Sexual dysfunction. Another danger of having high blood pressure is limiting the flow of blood, which is often caused by narrowing and hardening of arteries and damage to the blood vessel lining. In women, this can affect sexual desire and cause problems with vaginal dryness and the achievement of orgasms. In men, this can lead to the inability to get and keep an erection. However, these are just symptoms of too much pressure being put on your arteries and heart. That's what stops blood flow from reaching your reproductive organs and various forms of dysfunction. Brittle bones. Those with high blood pressure may also find that they have more calcium in their urine, which means there is less calcium in the body. This is an indication of extreme calcium loss. This kind of rapid calcium loss can lead to more broken bones and even osteoporosis, which is the result of a decrease in bone density. Trouble sleeping. Research shows that more than 50% of people with high blood pressure may also have problems falling or staying asleep. This particular condition, called obstructive sleep apnea, is the result of more relaxed throat muscles, which can lead to snoring and the inability to stay asleep. Unfortunately, sleep apnea and loss of sleep can also lead to high blood pressure, thus creating a vicious circle of unhealthy symptoms. Plus, with the likelihood of cortisol flooding your bloodstream due to hypertension, you'll potentially feel more anxiety, more stress, and have a much more difficult time falling and staying asleep. And sadly, the more stress you feel, the more cortisol gets released into your bloodstream, possibly inhibiting your ability to sleep even more. This is what it feels like to get caught in another cycle, the sleep-stress cycle. Can you see how it all piles on? Heart attack, stroke, and death. When high blood pressure goes untreated and inhibits blood flow, studies show that almost 50% of those suffering succumb to heart disease and over 30% to stroke. Those who allow their imbalanced blood pressure to remain untreated may also experience artery damage, enlarged hearts, and aneurysms. But that's not the only form of associated decline. Another one is memory loss. Did you know that high blood pressure can cause blood vessels to narrow or rupture and leave you ripe for a possible stroke or heart attack? Hypertension is clinically shown to increase your chances of above-normal decline in all of your cognitive abilities, and that's according to Johns Hopkins University. According to the same study, hypertension directly affects sleep, stress, and accelerated short-term memory lapses, all things that trigger even more cortisol and other hormonal imbalances. Dementia. Harvard University and other research institutions studied 5,273 people. They found those with long-term high blood pressure had a 52% higher risk of having dementia. I watched my mom go through every possible stage of dementia. It really opened up my eyes to protecting myself from ever having to go through that. John A., Portland, Oregon. Weakened immune system. Hypertension is shown to increase the autoimmune inflammatory response, essentially weakening your immune system. With everything going on in the world, a weakened immune system matters more than ever. So anyway, after my stroke, I bet you can guess what happened next. Yep, the doctors prescribed 2 different blood pressure drugs for me to take. And I hate drugs. I can't stand their side effects, the ones known and the side effects yet unknown, but that you always read about that can harm you later. I'm the kind of person who likes to take care of my health problems naturally, free of toxic and harmful drugs. However, because I just had a stroke, I agreed to go on them for a little while at least. And that's when my nightmare of blood pressure prescription drug hell got started. Lisinopril is the med my doc put me on first. It's an ACE inhibitor. He prescribed 10 milligrams and it lowered my BP, but my heart raced and I had bad insomnia at night. Plus, I got chest pain and a dry cough. It was a killer, constant cough that ruined my life. I would cough every 15 to 20 seconds, which made sleep for me and my wife just about impossible. I quit taking it. By the way, after I got off lisinopril, I did a little research on the government website and found out that there have been a shocking 406,178 health and side effect-related complaints made about lisinopril to the Federal Drug Administration. Think about all that pain and suffering from something that's supposed to be helpful. Metoprolol was the next prescription drug my doctor put me on. Most people take a generic version of this drug, and as you may have heard in the news lately, a shockingly large number of generic drugs like this are made in China. Yes, China. Yuck. I don't even want to think about what could be in these generic drugs from China. This beta blocker drug made me feel like I was running in cement boots. It just sucked all the energy and strength out of me and made me feel like I was 20 years older. My experience with blood pressure drugs is very common. According to the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, the commonly prescribed blood pressure drugs don't work for 52% of people who take them. You heard that correctly. These drugs fail to control blood pressure of over half the people who use them. And even if prescription drugs did work over the long term, they do not deal with the root cause of high blood pressure. And what's even worse is you have to take them for the rest of your life. So I had to get off prescription drugs. But I kept on a strict diet and exercise program my doc recommended, and I decided to try herbal supplements from Amazon and my local GNC store. I bought the blood pressure supplement Amazon recommends and took it for a month, but that did not work for me. Then I took the supplement GNC recommended for a month, and just like the other supplement, this did not work for me either. I would later learn that these supplements rely on hawthorn berry, beet, garlic, and hibiscus, and these herbs do not work all that good by themselves. I got some results, but at the same time, I wasn't satisfied by them, so I felt like I was back at square one. I was frustrated and almost at my wits' end. Nothing would work. What could I do? I remember breaking down crying, getting on my knees, and praying for guidance. And shortly after this, one evening, my wife and I went to our favorite Japanese restaurant in Chicago. I was talking to the manager, telling how much I loved his food, but I might have to stop eating there because of my high blood pressure. He said, "No, that is not the answer." He said, "You should talk to my cousin. He's a Japanese doctor who for 30 years has specialized in managing high blood pressure naturally. He's visiting here from Japan with his family for a wedding next week, and I could ask if he would talk to you while he's here." But when the manager called me back, he said his cousin, the famous Japanese doctor, said he wanted to do no work while he was in America because he was burned out and needed a break. I was crushed when I heard this, because I desperately needed the Japanese doctor's advice. So I asked for his email address. I sent him a long email that virtually begged him for just 10 minutes of his time when he was here on vacation. I guess my sob story got to him because he agreed to meet with me. So I met with Dr. Nakamura. He was very studious, intelligent, and professional. I could immediately tell he knew what he was talking about. He told me his patients have no high blood pressure at all, 0. I was stunned, because I knew about half of all older people had high blood pressure. He said, "Ed, that is correct statistically, but I have found the secret, and when I give it to my patients over the course of months, they're amazed by their results." Dr. Nakamura told me this discovery was first published in an article in 1913 in the prestigious journal Archives of Internal Medicine. The researchers were shocked to find in Japanese farming communities virtually nobody had high blood pressure, even people who were in their 70s and 80s, and they took no drugs because they don't have high blood pressure in the first place. A summary article stated in part, "Hypertension is virtually absent." And get this, you might think it was genetics, but it was not, because even though these Japanese farmers had no high blood pressure, nearby communities did. Dr. F.M. Allen studied the diets of these farmers to determine what they ate that acted as a powerful shield against getting high blood pressure. Dr. Allen hit the jackpot. He found there were certain foods these Japanese farmers ate that were protecting them against high blood pressure and managing their blood pressure if it got too high. Dr. Nakamura explained it to me this way. There are certain natural foods that reduce blood pressure levels safely. People who were worried about potentially having high blood pressure saw their fears comforted by these natural, albeit rare, foods. I asked what these foods were. Dr. Nakamura agreed to tell me what these 4 magic foods were, and I'll tell you in a minute. But he said, first, I need to give you a quick bottom-line summary of what you must know about high blood pressure. He said your heart's key job is to effortlessly pump blood through your body to places like your brain, your lungs, your private parts, your eyes, your kidneys, your liver, and so forth. It's how every part of your body that requires fresh blood and nutrition get it. That's just called optimal circulation. Your blood needs to travel through a network of tube-shaped parts, and these little tubes are called blood vessels. And here's the problem. As you get older, your blood vessels become tighter and narrower. They close in, they shrink up. And then what happens is not good when they start closing up. You are in big trouble. Your blood can't flow as easily through your blood vessels anymore. And this likely makes your heart have to work harder, and the measurement of how hard your heart has to work is your blood pressure reading. And what your blood pressure reading really means is that your heart is constantly being overstressed and overworked, And this is what leads to little tears, then plaque, then clots, then heart attack, stroke, and other terrible daggers that will damage or destroy your life to one extent or another. So in summary, all problems start with stiff blood vessels. In fact, in breaking news, research just published in Science Daily confirmed that stiff blood vessels are a key cause of high blood pressure. I call this blood vessel stiffness syndrome, BVSS. This occurs because the aging process and toxins cause your blood vessels to become tight and rigid. Dr. Gerald Meininger, director of the Dalton Cardiovascular Research Center and a professor of medical pharmacology and physiology in the School of Medicine at University of Missouri, put it this way: arterial and vascular stiffness occurs through the normal process of biological aging and is associated with an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. As we age, the aorta, which normally acts as a shock absorber, dampening the pulse associated with each heartbeat, tightens and becomes rigid, causing a host of problems including high blood pressure, increased risk of adverse cardiovascular events, and even death. So then, what is the solution to your blood vessel stiffness syndrome? The world-famous University of California, Irvine researchers were the first in modern research to crack the puzzle. Certain little-known herbs contain nutrients that activate the potassium channel, KCNQ5, in blood vessels, and this relaxes your blood vessels, which lowers your blood pressure. And this is just what you need. This is why other attempts to manage your blood pressure have not worked for you in the past. Let me repeat. Because your past efforts did not activate this KCNQ5 channel, your past efforts of diet, exercise, medications, and supplements have failed to effectively work for your blood pressure. Because now blood can flow freely from your heart to all of your organs and the rest of your body to give you vibrant health. These herbs have been used successfully for hundreds of years to help reduce high blood pressure. However, the average person will never hear about them because the multi-million-dollar drug companies keep this information hidden from the public. So people keep buying prescription drugs and the big pharma companies keep making their fortunes. These nutrients have been scientifically shown to potentially help sweep calcium plaque out of your arteries and put it back into your bones where it belongs. Increase the flexibility in your blood vessels, promote healthy blood flow, and help you enjoy normal blood pressure. Dr. Nakamura then told me about the 3 best herbs that he discovered in Japan to manage blood pressure and how each works. Number 1 perfect blood pressure nutrient, buku leaf. Standing 6 foot tall, buku leaf has potent medicinal substances while emitting a scent similar to peppermint. The bloating associated with high blood pressure can be relieved by buku leaf. It is an effective diuretic and anti-inflammatory agent. Buku has a long history as a medicinal herb and was used for centuries by the indigenous Khoisan, who believed it to be an elixir of youth. Buku was first exported to Britain in the 18th century. In Europe, it was called noble's tea because only the wealthy could afford it. There were 8 bales of buku on board the Titanic. Dr. Tammy O'Flynn, phytotherapist, says today we have scientific research that confirms what smart people knew centuries ago. Buku is, in fact, a wonder plant. Not only does it have anti-inflammatory, anti-infective, antibacterial, and antifungal properties, it also contains antioxidants and bioflavonoids, plus vitamins A, B, and E, meaning buku is great for people who want to lower their blood pressure naturally. The number 2 perfect blood pressure nutrient, juniper berry. In ancient Greek times, athletes used juniper berry to increase stamina and strength. It acts as a natural diuretic, which helps reduce edema and helps manage blood pressure. Juniper berries have traditionally been used to detoxify the heart and body. This is why doctors used to sanitize medical equipment with them. In a study published in the Journal of Food, Science, and Nutrition, juniper berry showed it had helped to improve heart function. For example, juniper berry essential oil has been found to reduce high blood pressure in animal studies related to the antioxidants it contains. A similar study stated juniper berry functions as a natural diuretic, which contributes to its blood pressure-lowering activity. Juniper berries also function as an anticholinesterase agent. This is important for heart function because anticholinesterase agents help to build up acetylcholine in the nervous system, which in turn can slow heart action, lower blood pressure, and increase blood flow. Number 3 perfect blood pressure nutrient: olive leaf. Olive leaf is mentioned in the Bible for its purported healing properties. The original Olympic athletes were crowned with a wreath of olive leaves. Data from a recent study shows it can substantially manage blood pressure levels. A recent European Journal of Clinical Nutrition published a study that was a double-blind, randomized, controlled crossover trial involving 60 people over a 6-week period. The results stunned the researchers. Daytime and nighttime blood pressure readings were all significantly lower following intake relative to the control. Reductions in plasma total cholesterol were also shown from taking olive leaf compared to the control. In an eye-opening study performed by researchers in Germany and Switzerland, scientists took 20 sets of identical twins, all suffered from high blood pressure, and gave one twin a special extract of olive leaf extract, while their identical twin got a placebo. The study lasted for 8 weeks, and while the twins who got the placebo showed no improvements to their blood pressure, for the twins who'd received the special capsule filled with olive leaf extract, the change was stunning. You see, on average, their blood pressure readings went from 137/80 to 126/76. This is the difference between dangerously high blood pressure and a reading that most doctors would not even consider bad. Dr. Nakamura said adding these 3 herbs to your diet could have a substantial impact in helping to manage and reduce high blood pressure. So now I know how to naturally get my high blood pressure healthy again. These 3 incredible herbs. So I figured it would be easy just to go out to health food stores or herbal stores and buy these herbs or buy them in a supplement form. But I was wrong. No store had these herbs in organic form, a must. And in the right dosage, also a must, that Dr. Nakamura recommended. And neither did any of the products sold on Amazon or the GNC store. So I was stuck again and back to square one. But I was determined to find a solution. I contacted a friend of a cousin who was in the vitamin manufacturing business. I told her my story, and she was very impressed. And their research team found another 4 herbs that have been shown to support healthy blood pressure levels. Those additional ingredients are hawthorn, garlic, hibiscus, and green tea. And in a recent meta-analysis that was published in Scientific Reports, researchers evaluated 13 clinical trials on green tea extract involving over 1,300 people and reported it can significantly decrease systolic blood pressure. Now here's the thing. Given the science behind all 8 of these ingredients, you would think doctors everywhere would be recommending them to their patients. But unfortunately, that's not how it always works. The fact of the matter is, more people could benefit from learning about natural health, doctors included. These 8 ingredients I mentioned are 100% natural, and the scientific evidence shows they're very beneficial to help support normal blood pressure. But if you can find all 8 of these herbs, you would still end up paying a fortune trying to stock up on high-quality forms of these ingredients, which by no means is cheap. Trust me, I know from personal experience. And on top of that, while there are some supplements out there that combine some of these ingredients together, it's much rarer for them to contain the same dosage in the clinical research. And it's also hard to trust most random supplements found online or on supermarket shelves, since there's no promise that they've been tested for purity or contain bioavailable ingredients. I realized that I needed to find a special solution, something that people could trust. And that's when I was introduced to the medical research team at FightEdge Labs. They're a company that's based here in the United States in Texas, and after hearing about the incredible research behind the 8 ingredients I mentioned in this presentation, they decided to hire a team of nutritional scientists and expert formulators. And after nearly 2 years of trial and error, they achieved a breakthrough by making available a highly absorbable and highly trustworthy supplement, something that contains all 8 of the ingredients I've mentioned today. It's called Blood Pressure 911. Blood Pressure 911 is manufactured in a GMP-certified and FDA-compliant facility right here in the United States, meaning that every single capsule of Blood Pressure 911 is made safely to the highest of standards. Additionally, every single batch of Blood Pressure 911 is sent to an independent third-party laboratory where they analyze the ingredients to ensure that what's seen on the label is what's actually inside. But that's still just the start. See, People can trust Blood Pressure 911 because it only has natural ingredients that are backed by real research. And I've never been prouder in my life than I am today to be speaking to the public about Blood Pressure 911 for the very first time. You see, I realize how suffering from high blood pressure can rob a person of their health and vitality like it did when it caused my stroke, steal their joy and take away the things they love to do in life, how it can zap them of their peace of mind and make them feel like they'll never be the same again. Many folks are not strangers to this pain. For people whose agonizing blood pressure troubles have gone on for a while now, they know just how destabilizing this can be for their entire life. Not only is it frustrating and torturous, but it can leave them feeling hopeless. It can ruin relationships, a person's work ethic, their love life. It can steal away a person's independence and turn them into a burden to everyone they know, making them and their loved ones stressed, angry, and resentful. And as anyone with this illness knows, high blood pressure can drain a person of their energy, and it can take over and control their entire lives if it progresses beyond a healthy level. Wouldn't it be great to live a normal life again and not have to worry constantly about a stroke and heart attack, especially if it meant not feeling forced to depend on doctors and prescriptions to control blood pressure? I think it's fair to say that no one wants to spend the rest of their lives suffering from high blood pressure. In fact, suffering from its health problems makes life feel miserable. That's the way many people told me that they felt about their own fight against high blood pressure challenges. But that was before they added Blood Pressure 911 to their diet and told me about their remarkable blood pressure and health improvements. That's why I truly believe that so many people can benefit from Blood Pressure 911, whether a person has inherited high blood pressure or developed it as they've aged, or even if they just want to make sure their body and health are best protected. The 8 simple yet powerful ingredients inside each capsule of Blood Pressure 911, they help to promote healthy blood pressure levels, while also likely helping to support healthy cholesterol and triglyceride levels. Many of these natural ingredients are antioxidants, which can help support the body's fight against health-destroying inflammation, so that people everywhere can finally have the chance to manage their high blood pressure levels. So by now you might be wondering, how do we get our own supply of Blood Pressure 911 right away? And you might also be wondering, how much should a person take each day? The truth is that there are only limited supplies of Blood Pressure 911 available. And that's not a marketing gimmick or anything like that, it's just the honest truth. Remember, Blood Pressure 911 is made in a GMP-certified facility, and each batch is tested by an independent third-party laboratory to ensure that what's seen on the bottle is what's found on the inside. Blood Pressure 911 also contains no sugar, starch, salt, wheat, corn, yeast, soy derivatives, lactose, colors, or dyes. Fightage Labs must use the same exact ingredients inside every batch, which is neither cheap nor easy to do, since many of these ingredients come from the other side of the world thousands of miles away. On top of that, the increasing popularity of Blood Pressure 911 is putting a serious strain on production, and thousands of people are quickly catching on to this brilliant breakthrough, which means out-of-stocks are always a risk. And because of this, the team at Fightage Labs can only produce a limited number of Blood Pressure 911 at any given time. Adult men and women of all ages are experiencing the benefits of Blood Pressure 911. So they keep ordering several bottles of Blood Pressure 911 at a time, and they also order additional bottles for their friends and family members who have high blood pressure, which makes it difficult for the team at Fightage Labs to keep up with demand. Now, I couldn't be more happy with Blood Pressure 911's growing popularity and success, but the truth of the matter is, out-of-stocks are a very real risk. With that being said, though, I also don't want anyone else to continue to suffer from the frustration of trying to manage healthy blood pressure, especially when it can make every day feel like a struggle for some. And when there's a natural alternative that is free of caffeine or other habit-forming chemicals that will not ruin a person's health with the horrible side effects, and that is designed to help support the body's fight against the inflammation that's causing health problems, which is why in just a moment I'm going to share how to get a supply of Blood Pressure 911 today as part of Fightage Labs' blood pressure control campaign. But before I do that, let me return to that second question. How much Blood Pressure 911 should a person take every day? This is very simple. Just take 1 capsule twice a day, and that's literally all it takes. And here's why it's important to take Blood Pressure 911 for at least 30 days. It's true that the high-powered ingredients inside of Blood Pressure 911 get to work immediately. Yet, while the support benefits may begin on the inside from day one, the more Blood Pressure 911 is used, the better chance it has at enhancing health. And don't just take my word for it. Just listen to a woman named Megan Callahan from Laughlin, Nevada. Doctors told her they tried everything they could and could do no more. But Megan still had a life-threatening blood pressure of 150/118, even with taking 3 prescription drugs. She was at the end of her rope, trying to find an alternative solution to her blood pressure problem. Well, Megan didn't want to live the rest of her life taking prescription pills. So after leaving her doctor's office, Megan found Blood Pressure 911. And after adding it to her diet, Megan sent us this testimonial. Bless you for making Blood Pressure 911. For over 15 years, nothing really managed my blood pressure effectively, including taking 8 different prescription drugs over the years. But finally, your supplement, Blood Pressure 911, did. It has truly been a lifesaver for me, and now, after seeing my results, even my doctor is taking it. Bless your souls again for making such a needed natural product. With happy customers like that, what's there not to love about Blood Pressure 911? What many clinical studies have shown us is that the longer you take each of the ingredients inside Blood Pressure 911, the more you will benefit. That's because the natural ingredients in this supplement take time to build up enough quantity in your body to have their full effect. So while you will get benefits starting on day 1, you will get the full benefits the more you take this incredible supplement, which is why the longer you take Blood Pressure 911, the more your blood vessels can potentially widen, the more your arteries can possibly increase their ideal flexibility, and the better shape you'll be in. It's for all of these reasons that I personally recommend choosing at least 4 bottles of Blood Pressure 911, a 120-day supply, for the absolute best health possible. Now, I'd like to restate that Blood Pressure 911 is not available on any other website or on Amazon. It's only available on this website. And given its popularity, it might not be around forever, especially since the manufacturer is struggling to keep up with demand. Normally, Blood Pressure 911 should retail for $120 a bottle. But right now, and through this website only, viewers can take home Blood Pressure 911 today at a major discount. Unlike some conventional blood pressure solutions, Blood Pressure 911 has no known side effects, which is a huge relief to so many customers, because they love knowing they don't have to worry about nasty side effects. When considering all of that, $120 for Blood Pressure 911 is a really fair deal. Plus, there's all the benefits money can't buy, like starting each day with a huge burst of energy, or getting back independence, or enjoying delicious foods again, or finally feeling the drive to be intimate again, or having a great blood pressure checkup at your doctor's office. Thinking of all of this, $120 seems like a true bargain to me. Yet despite all of that, people today won't pay anywhere near the $120 for a bottle of Blood Pressure 911. That's because, like I said before, my goal is not to make money, but to save people from the tragedy and suffering I went through with my stroke at my granddaughter's baptism. I want to help as many people as I can, and the team behind Blood Pressure 911 couldn't agree more. Which is why, when ordered right now, you get your very own bottle of Blood Pressure 911 for a one-time investment of just $69.95 as part of our blood pressure control campaign. But that's just the beginning. I realize that many people may want to keep taking Blood Pressure 911 for years to come, and the fact that there really are limited supplies available, I can understand why they'd want to stock up on 4 bottles of Blood Pressure 911 today. And it's for this reason that the Fightage Labs team has created a substantially discounted multi-bottle plan where folks can stock up and save on 4 bottles of Blood Pressure 911 for just $49.95 per bottle, which is a savings of over $70 a bottle when folks order right now. But this special discount is only being offered through this website, and there's more good news. As a part of Blood Pressure 911's blood pressure control campaign, Blood Pressure 911 is going to give free shipping and handling, which is a $9.95 value. But both the discount and the free shipping are for a limited time only, and only while supplies last. So choose the 4-bottle package or any other package that's right for you and secure an order today while there are still supplies in stock. After choosing a package, you'll be redirected to a 100% secure and encrypted checkout page. This is the same high security that your bank and Amazon uses, so there's nothing to worry about. There's a simple order form to fill out, and after that, your order of Blood Pressure 911 will be on its way and will arrive within 5 business days from now. So, looking at the facts, this is one of the smallest yet most important investments you'll ever make for your health. Something that will not only help manage your blood pressure, but that will also help relieve or end your other related health problems, and that means soon you can start living your best life again, the life you were meant to be living. A single bottle of Blood Pressure 911 puts you on the path to healthy blood pressure naturally. 2 bottles guarantee you can keep taking Blood Pressure 911 without interruption. And with 4 bottles of Blood Pressure 911, you are setting yourself up to be enjoying a more carefree life for many months to come. So go ahead and choose a package of Blood Pressure 911 now while there are still supplies in stock, and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with supporting your health today. Here's why this investment should be so easy to make. Your investment today is also covered by a 90-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. Right now, just place an order and say maybe to Blood Pressure 911. Then, once you get your order in a few short days from now, start taking your 1 capsule twice a day and see how you feel. Most of Blood Pressure 911's loyal customers fall in love with what Blood Pressure 911 can do for them. And if for some reason Blood Pressure 911 isn't working out, just call or email Blood Pressure 911's award-winning U.S.-based customer service team 24/7, and they'll send you a refund immediately. No questions, no hassles, no hard feelings. There really is 0 risk because of this guarantee. Plus, there's no need to return the bottles of Blood Pressure 911. Keep them as a special thanks for trying it out. Plus, we'll do something absolutely crazy. Not only will you get all your money back, but we'll also give you an additional $100 just for giving it an honest try. No joke. I know it sounds like we've lost our minds, but we're not kidding around. If you're not happy with it for any reason at all, we'll give you every single penny back plus another $100, even if you use the entire bottle. That's how confident we are that our solution works. Which means there's no downside here at all. It's a 100% risk-free investment that comes with tons of health benefits, and there's a full 90 days to see if Blood Pressure 911 is right. Doesn't it make sense to feel and experience Blood Pressure 911 as a part of the decision-making process? Then why not think it over while trying Blood Pressure 911 since there's no risk? So go ahead and try Blood Pressure 911 today, risk-free, and choose from one of the package options below right now to say yes to conquering high blood pressure and yes to living a happy, healthy, and independent life again. It's time to put your blood pressure under new management and secure your supply of Blood Pressure 911 now. Now it's time to make a decision. Please don't ignore all the proof you've seen and continue to be a slave of high blood pressure and health issues. A decision like that would change nothing, and it's obvious that something must change here. Because a life of constant fatigue and frustration where you are always worried about the next doctor's visit and what it will mean, well, that's no life at all. Especially now that I've shared the ingredients inside of Blood Pressure 911 and shown how powerful they are at fighting high blood pressure. That's why I want to make it easy to say yes to Blood Pressure 911 today. So go ahead and claim your order of Blood Pressure 911 by choosing from one of the packages below. Each investment is protected by a 90-day money-back guarantee, which means there's absolutely no risk. So break free of frustration and choose a package right now with the 4-month best deal package recommended and start living a better life. Frequently asked questions. Who is Blood Pressure 911 for? Blood Pressure 911 is for anyone who wants to have normal and healthy blood pressure levels again, naturally and without having to eat a crazy restrictive diet or exercise program, regardless of their current age, regardless of how high their reading is now, regardless of what they have tried before, and regardless if they are currently on medication or not. And break free of the worry and anxiety that comes with high blood pressure. The ingredients are powered by 8 natural herbs that have been shown to support your normal blood pressure levels. Why is Blood Pressure 911 different from other blood pressure methods I've tried? Blood Pressure 911 gets right to the source of your problem, your blood vessel stiffness syndrome, or BVSS. This is just what you need. This is why other attempts to manage your blood pressure have not worked for you in the past. Let me repeat. Because your past efforts did not activate the KCNQ5 channel, your past efforts of diet, exercise, medications, and supplements have failed to work for your healthy blood pressure. Because now, blood can flow freely from your heart to all of your organs and the rest of your body to give you normal, healthy blood pressure and vibrant health. These special herbs in Blood Pressure 911, discovered by Dr. Nakamura in Japan from a Japanese farmer's secret, because these people had no high blood pressure even though people all around them did, are backed by many clinical studies and thousands of years of use, all proving they are beneficial in managing high blood pressure. What if I'm not happy with the results from taking Blood Pressure 911? Well, that's the best part of all. You risk nothing in ordering your supply now, because you're fully protected by our 90-day money-back guarantee. So if, for some reason, Blood Pressure 911 isn't working out, just call or email Blood Pressure 911's award-winning U.S.-based customer service team 24/7, and they'll send a refund immediately. No questions, no hassles, no hard feelings. Plus, there's no need to return the bottles of Blood Pressure 911. Keep them as a special thanks for trying it out, and we'll give you an additional $100 on top of that just for giving it an honest try. People across the country are finally getting their lives back, which means there's no downside here at all. It's a 100% risk-free investment that comes with tons of health benefits, and there's a full 90 days to see if Blood Pressure 911 is right for you.